Okay. All right, so what I do, right, this over here is VSC, this is M6. Also, yeah, okay, yes, that's fine. So what I do is I replace, and I think I did a video about this at least once, but I replace caret P with quote, comma, quote. What does that do? Caret P means it is words thing for enter, right? So one caret P is one enter. So whenever you do something like, let me go over here, this, that's a caret P. This, that's another caret P, right? So every time there are two enters and exactly two enters, no more, no less, then we replace that with a quote, comma, quote. Why do we do this? Because in the end, what we end up with, like for all of these worksheets, is one very long string of things separated by quote, comma, quote. So, as you know, array is just a bunch of elements surrounded by a quote, surrounded by quote, quotation marks on either side, and then separated by commas. But what happens over here, okay, so that's also why we have every question is exactly two enters away from every thought. Every thought is two enters away from every other thought. Every question is two enters away from the thought that came before it. Like, it's just two enters all the time. Two enters to get to the next alert, two enters to get to the next thought, two enters to get to the next question, etc. So that's the whole big thing, right? The problem is anytime there's only one enter, we don't do anything with that, which is why all of these questions are formatted as they are. So all this little tick mark translates into an actual enter in Slack. These two tick marks translate to two enters, right? And that's why we do it. But this one question is technically, it's just one continuous line, just keeps going, doop to doop to doop forever, right? These lines don't break it up. So there is no caret P inside of this at all. Nowhere inside of there is a caret P or an enter, right? Right. Okay. Why is this important? So when I do all of this, I just go replace all, right? Okay. We made 153 replacements. Great. And then usually what I do is I just copy the whole thing and see what it would look like in here. If I put it in here, right? So what happens? I paste it in here and it does this. Now, as you can see, this broke not only the given, M6, but it also broke literally everything that came after it. So everything in the entire VSC is now broken. It's red. It's totally freaking out. Why? Well, what I can see is that every single one of these drive links, Google Drive links, seems to be starting on its own line, which means you put a bunch of regular enters in there. This over here, the only reason there would be two enters is if you put an enter and then a space and then another enter, right? So if I had to guess, there's like an extra space here at the end, so maybe that's what caused it. Not entirely sure. This one definitely has a space here, right? We can see that. This one, also no idea. But there's kind of some weird stuff going on. So every once in a while, I'm just going to go ahead and undo this, obviously, because I don't want the entire VSC to break. So now it's back. It's totally fine. So, and I'll undo this over here. What you're looking at is just all of these things, right? So what you did was you put an enter here and then pasted the link. You can't do that. It has to be right after the thing. So you've got to, yeah, like that, right? Okay, so then we go back and space. It's gonna be really hard to tell which ones are this way. You could kind of paste it in there and sort of figure it out. It looks the same, right? Totally looks the same, but if there's just a space and not an actual enter, it will format very differently. I might have actually gone through and fixed some of these in the beginning, but I know for a fact I was kind of down here at the end, and these ones definitely are not. So that one totally wasn't. This one definitely was not. This one also wasn't, so all that kind of stuff. Anyway, all right, so go through, fix all of those. Look for also, the easiest way to do this is if you select all, usually you can flip through and you can see if there's extra stuff going on in this space. So if this is the regular width of an enter of a nothing space, then this seems too thick, so you can kind of just double check and see. Usually I will just backspace and then do the enters again just to see if that makes it any better, but you can see if there's any legit ones. This one definitely has a space, right? This one's way thicker. So and this also, you have the question is in two parts, right, which isn't allowed either, so this has to have like enter like that. Save. The alert can be on the next line. That's totally fine. Thoughts can be on the next line, but the question can't be broken up like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let me see if there's any more. You can kind of scroll through. Yeah. I'm not sure where some of those other ones were, but, you know, just like fly through. Just to give you an idea, usually what I do when I'm formatting also is I will constantly, like, I'll hit enter and I'll like start putting the next question, blah blah blah, and then I'll hit enter and like basically hit the delete button until the next thing comes up to it, so that I know for a fact, and I'm constantly just double checking. I'll do like left arrow, right arrow, just to make sure that like the number of spaces is correct there. Because this is a thing that happens so often, right? Even I just like don't realize that there's an extra, just a space right here will break the whole thing, right? Which seems kind of silly, but I guess if you know a little coding, you know how silly computers can be. Okay, I think that's all. Fix all those things and give it back to me, and then I should hopefully be able to put it into the VSC.